Let me share my screen. We'll get this going. Here we go. All right. Totally didn't mean to do that. And everybody can see that? It says multiple offers.
I can see
All
it.
right, thumbs up. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. All right, so we're going to talk about, discuss multiple offers in today's market 2021. Us as buyers agents representing buyers in what you call this crazy, volatile, difficult, challenging seller's market, right? And I give it that long-winded definition because, well, it's a good description of it. So we're going to discuss how we can improve our conversion, right? Because this is a numbers game. So uh, just to get a sense of the room, I can kind of see you guys on the window over here on the side. Most of you are new agents, mostly buyers agents, mostly working listing side, buyer side. Can I share that with me? Who am I talking to?
I'll talk. I'm a new agent, very new. I'm on a team, and I'll be doing, like buyer's agent transactions.
Okay, so mostly buyers. You're probably working with the majority of your business is going to come from buyers, and you're seeing what I'm seeing, maybe in a slightly different area, yet same scenarios. So it should be helpful to you. I mean, the goal of today's lecture, discussion, or conversation, whatever you want to call it, is to provide you guys value, and as much value as possible. And what we're looking to do is to provide you the value that will help you improve your conversion. Now, we talk about conversion, especially when it comes to multiple offer situations. Well, when we're submitting offers, how do we get them, increase the likelihood they get accepted compared to not, right? So what I need you guys to understand in today's environment, in today's atmosphere, when working with buyers, yes, it's a numbers game. We're not going to submit 10 offers and get 10 accepted offers. It just doesn't work like that. The best of us don't get, all our offers accepted. We're, depending on your product, depending on your skill set, you're going to have different numbers. It's always agent to agent. So it's always case by case. I can tell you that, for instance, right now, mine was 1 out of 5, but it's going up a little bit. It's 1 out of 6. So it definitely is a numbers game. You're not the only one that's going through this. Depending on the type of buyer that you have, maybe your conversion will be 1 out of 10. Obviously, if they have very, very low down payments, they don't have closing costs, they need a seller contribution, they need to sell in order to buy, that is going to affect our numbers, that is going to affect our conversion. So we have to submit more offers in order to get one accepted. So depending on the type of buyer, depending on the price range, depending how prepared they are, that will definitely affect our conversion. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things. I'm just going to introduce myself very, very swiftly for those of you that don't know me. My name is Ron Lugashi. I'm a buyer's agent on the Zamir Group. The Zamir Group is the top team in the entire NJMLS for the last 5 years. Those are our numbers for the last 5 years. I lecture across many, many market centers all year round. I do this because I have a lot of experience, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings with buyers, and I come back and I look to share it with other agents just like yourself. So the goal of today is to provide you guys as much value as possible. Let's get this going. So we're going to stay here on this particular screen because we're going to discuss mainly how to improve our conversion in multiple offer situations. The majority of the ways that we can do that are right here on the screen. We're going to talk about additional ones after. Before I begin, is there any particular area you want me to focus on? Is there any scenario that you want me to focus on? Any challenges you want me to focus on? Talk to me, or else I'm just going to keep talking. No, we're good. Just want to listen in. Okay, no problem. So if you ever want to ask a question, you ever want to say something, share a thought, an opinion, whatever you like, just unmute yourself, say it, or else I'm just going to do my thing. All right? All right.
Ron?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I thought my computer wasn't working properly. How you doing? This is Shama. I'm a fairly new agent, a little under a year, but I work full time, so I consider myself probably 6 months in because I haven't done a lot of deals because I'm working full time. But I would like to focus on the escalation clause
Sure.
a
There's a
little
whole
bit.
slide I dedicated just to escalation clause. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that, my 2 cents on that, but we'll get into it. So I promise we'll
Excellent.
get to that slide and we'll focus on that.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. So in this crazy seller's market, strong seller's market, how do we improve the likelihood? How do we get it so we don't have to submit 10 offers? So we only have to submit 5 offers in order to get one. How do we improve our conversion that we obtain this deal, this house, this home for our buyers? Well, at the very, very top, you see something. It says relationship with agent. Well, how does relationship with agent possibly help us improve our conversion in multiple offer situations? What do you guys think? How does a relationship with agent help us out?
Ron, when you say the relationship with agent, you mean when you're on the buyer's agent on the seller side? Is that what you're referencing?
No, I'm the buyer's agent, and I happen to have a history or some type of relationship or a connection. I'll say relationship / connection with the listing agent.
Yes.
How does that help our clients obtain in multiple offer situations?
I think it helps because if you know exactly what their end goal is, whether or not they want to sell fast, what their preferences are, I'm assuming. I guess every
That's where we
seller.
get obtaining information. So I'm just going to give you an example. Let's just say that Neville is, Mrs. Listing Agent, and we've worked together before, and she knows what, she knows me and I know her, and she has 12 offers on the table. Okay, and the top 2 offers, one of them is me, and another one is an agent from I don't know, South Jersey. Never met them, doesn't know them, doesn't know their attorney, doesn't know their lender, but she knows me, and we've done business together. She knows I do what I say what I do. There's no surprises. She knows my attorney. She knows my lender. She knows I'm going to get it to the closing table. Which offer is she going to recommend her seller to go with?
Definitely you.
Yeah, so even if I'm not even the highest offer, I'm the strongest offer. Our relationship strengthens our offer. That's our relationship, or even / connection with the listing agent goes a long way. Why? Because if you want a tip, and I'm going to give you tips throughout the presentation, just a simple tip that you got to do. If you want to improve the likelihood that you obtain in a multiple offer situation, you just got to do one thing. One thing that 1 out of every 10 agents is doing. So by doing it, you'll be better than 90% of the agents out there, the buyer's agents out there. That one thing is to pick up the phone. That's it. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is pick up the phone, make a connection with the listing agent, ask questions of the listing agent, obtain answers for your buyer. I'll tell you, we have a lot of multiple offer situations on our listings, almost every single time. And doesn't matter how many offers we get, the ratio tends to be the same. For every 10 offers we get that one phone call. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Those 9 out of 10 agents not picking up the phone and asking questions, are those agents promoting their buyer's best interest?
No.
No, they're not. You want to be better than 90% of the, no, I'm not there to educate them either. That's not my job. Yet, I'll gladly do it if they call me. What I'm trying to communicate to you guys, convey to you guys today is if you want to be better than 90% of the buyer's agents out there, all you do is pick up the phone and ask some questions, connect with the listing agent, build rapport, be memorable, so that when they approach, when they arrive at the point where they have to make a recommendation to the seller which offer to take, you're more likely to be chosen. So just pick up the phone. It's an easy tip. Ask questions, and when you get to the point when we ask questions, that also helps our clients. That also benefits our clients. That also provides advantage to our clients. How so? How so?
I mean, we're finding out about what it takes to get the off, more about their motivation and what needs to be done in order for our deal to get accepted.
Yeah, first of all, you can definitely ask, not that they have to tell you, you can definitely ask how many offers there are. You can definitely ask where you need to be in order to obtain. There's no limit on what type of question a buyer's agent can ask a listing agent. The listing agent can either share or not share. That's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
What you'll find is that if you ask questions, you'll be pleasantly surprised that there are listing agents out there that do provide a wealth of information, and there's some that don't give you any information. It ranges. It's always case by case depending on personality that you're dealing with. Yet if you don't ask the question, you'll never get the answer. And if you do ask the question, you are more than likely going to obtain some type of information. And some agents, I will tell you, they put their foot in their mouth and they give you their life story and they give you their seller's life story and they tell you exactly all the information that you need if you ask the questions. Now, you report back to your buyers and you say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, there's this many offers. This is where we need to be in order to obtain. You look like a rock star. All you need to do is pick up the phone. Now, are all agents going to give you abundance of information? No, not necessarily. But again, don't ask. You won't know, right? So ask the questions. Other than price, what's important to your seller? And they'll tell you, well, my seller doesn't want to deal with the CCO. My seller really doesn't want to fix anything. He wants it to be as is. My seller's really concerned with the appraisal. They'll tell you what's important, what you need to do in order to strengthen your offer to the point where you're obtaining. They'll tell you, you just need to ask. And we're going to get to it in a second, but it's a very simple question, the closing date. But let's get there first. So second thing on this list is called expertise. How can expertise possibly help our clients obtain? How does it help us improve our conversion in multiple offer situations? You being an expert buyer's agent, you being an expert in the local inventory, you being an expert in the buying process, you being the expert in multiple offer situations and how to strengthen offers, how does that help our clients obtain in multiple offer situations?
Well, I mean, they're hiring a real estate agent.
Yes. Well, let me ask you a question.
The expert for them. They don't know the industry. We're supposed to be the ones to know the industry and guide them.
Yeah, they don't do this day in and day out. We do this day in and day out, right? Now, if we don't know the buying process, can we communicate to them what the buying process looks like? No, you can't give what you don't have. Well, here's the follow-up question. Well, if we don't know how to strengthen an offer in multiple offer situations, can we communicate to them how to strengthen offers in multiple offer situations? And the answer is no, you can't give what you don't have. That's why expertise is important. Now, beyond that, there's the being an expert in the local market, understanding the local market. That goes a long way. Why? Because if you really have your finger on the pulse of the market and you know what things are selling for, you'll have a special ability. You'll have the ability to walk into a home and say, hey, Mr. or Miss Buyer, don't look at the list price. This is going to get multiple offers. It's going to go well above asking. Or, hey, you know what, Mr. or Miss Buyer, don't look at the list price. It's overpriced. You'll have a special ability where you're really providing them the service and the value they're looking for, and that's expertise. And of course, not all real estate agents are created equal. Some are just better than others. And the experts are the ones that can provide more value than the next agent. They go above and beyond as far as skill set and expertise. And honestly, it doesn't take much to become an expert. All it does is it takes a little bit of footwork and consistency. What do I mean by that? I mean, all you have to do is go see some homes. But you have to go see some homes week in and week out. So if you want to be an expert in any market, it doesn't matter whether it's Fort Lee, New Jersey, or Morristown, New Jersey. Take any town across the country. If you see all the inventory, you're an expert in the inventory. And if you see all the inventory over an extended period of time, you're an expert in that local market. So all you need to do is do a little bit of footwork with a little bit of consistency. You'll be an expert. You'll have a special ability. You can communicate value to your clients. So expertise goes a long way when it comes to improving conversion. As far as concessions go, when we're talking about giving things up, conceding things, I'm not talking about the sellers giving anything up. I'm talking about the buyers giving things up. So what are the buyers giving up in order to strengthen their offer? Again, the name of the game is not highest offer, it's strongest offer, strength of offer. That's the name of the game. So how do we strengthen our offer? What are the buyers giving up first? What's the first thing to go out the window? What's the first thing they're doing to strengthen their offers? Hi, guys. I'll share. I'll tell you guys. So the first thing to go out the window is that the buyers are saying buyer to purchase property and as is condition with the exception of environmental, structural, and health issues, right? Maybe you can throw a mechanical in there. That's always the first thing to go out the window, that they're conceding to strengthen an offer. Another thing that they're giving up to strengthen an offer is the appraisal contingency, right? We hear that a lot. Now, they're not necessarily waiving it completely. If they don't have the ability or don't want to waive it completely, you can also strengthen an offer by capping it, maxing it, right? So instead of waiving it completely, they can say buyer to waive appraisal contingency up to whatever number they feel comfortable, whatever they feel comfortable gapping, right? So those are different ways that you can those are the main ones that you can do to strengthen offers. Obviously, when we discuss terms, the most simplest of terms is your closing date. Now, here's what I'll share with you guys. When we pick up the phone and we ask questions of a listing agent, a very simple question is, when is your seller's preferred closing date? When would they like to close? Simple question. And I'll tell you, I've never had a listing agent tell me none of your business. Never happened. They always tell us what their seller's preferred close. Maybe they don't. Oh, they don't care. Whatever your buyers want. Oh, you know what? Because they're purchasing another property in Florida, they're closing on X date. They really want to be out by here. So no, you know what? They already have a place to move out. You'll get additional information just by asking that simple question, which will help you to strengthen your offer. So just ask the question. Right? It's an easy term. Escalation clauses. It's a seldomly used tool in real estate to strengthen offers. It's a rarely used tool in real estate. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on the next slide. Just one thing I want you guys to know is that there are situations that you don't want to necessarily be using them. Some situations where the sellers or the listing agents are anti-escalation clauses. They don't want to they don't even want to consider offers that have them. So just understand that there are some situations where you don't necessarily want to be using them. Again, ask the listing agents if it's okay to use it or not. They'll tell you. The one tool that will help a seller in these type of market conditions obtain top dollar is called highest and best. That's your more typical response, where they'll schedule a highest and best deadline. It's like 9 out of 10 times. What we don't want to be doing is we don't want to suggest or recommend our clients a strategy that says, hey, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, as a strategy, let's just offer them asking for now. And then when they do the highest and best deadline, we'll update our offer only to discover that they didn't do a highest and best and they selected an offer and it wasn't your buyer and you are this close to actually getting fired, if not already. So what we do want to do is we want to ask the listing agents if they anticipate conducting a highest and best, or is the seller just selecting one of the offers? Ask the questions. Letter to sellers, there's a lot of bio letters, love letters, whatever you want to call them. Me personally, my opinion is that it's advantageous to us. It does help us strengthen our offer just by asking a simple question. Does it strengthen our offers or not? And the answer is yes, it does strengthen our offers. Now, what I will kind of put an asterisk next to this, and just be careful with what you say. Don't reveal too much information or anything that might open up the window for any type of discrimination. So while I believe that it does strengthen our offers, I'm just telling you guys to be careful with it. So some listing agents will say don't submit an offer with a love letter, and that's okay, no problem. Just submit the offer. So it is a way to strengthen an offer. And if you speak to enough agents, they will tell you, I've been able to obtain homes for my client they would have otherwise not been able to attain because of these letters, which tells me they do strengthen offers. Just be careful with them, right? So you can also do it in the form of video sometimes. Lenders can do it, but we'll talk about that in a second. So when it comes to lenders, how can a lender possibly strengthen an offer? And I always ask theoretical questions. I said, okay, well, let's just say you have two very comparable offers. And one offer has one of our recommended lenders. You as a listing agent, you see Atlantic Home Loans or Bond Street Mortgage or NJ Lenders. And then the other offer has ABC Mortgage, online mortgage out of Missouri. Which one's the stronger offer? Yeah, so if you're telling me that if it has our recommended lender on it, or lender that you're familiar with, that you know that when they say you're good to go, then you're good to go, that strengthens an offer. is what you're telling me. So yes, your lender, your selection of your lender does matter. Some other things that your lender can do to strengthen your offer is, of course, get you through underwriting. Yes, that is doable, that is possible. So it is a very good way for a lender to help strengthen an offer. If I have, as a buyer's agent, the ability to reach out to a listing agent and say, hey, Mr. or Miss Listing Agent, my buyer is already through underwriting. They already have conditional loan approval. We only have 3 conditions in order to obtain clear to close. That's the title company info, the appraisal, and the 1-year insurance premium receipt, and we're good to go. When would you like to close? Would that strengthen an offer? Yeah, of course it would, because it provides peace of mind, and we can provide peace of mind to the other party, the seller. It does strengthen our offer, right? Somebody want to say something? Not sure. Again, just stop me. You can feel free to unmute yourself and just start talking. I'll stop. So there are different. So the lender does matter. Who you work with does matter. It's not just lenders. We're going to get to it, but also the attorneys matter too. Deposit, small little way to strengthen an offer. Obviously, if you have an additional deposit, we don't really do initial deposits around here. When you get to Central South Jersey, you start seeing a little bit more of initial deposits being used. In our area, we don't really use them. So as an additional deposit, well, what if we increase the amount of the additional deposit? Does that strengthen an offer? Yeah, it does by like that much. Well, what if we did play with it a little bit? What if we did turn that additional deposit into an initial deposit? Does that show a little bit more seriousness from the buyer's perspective? I would say so. So it strengthens your offer that much more, right? You can play with the deposits. Leaseback, also known as use of occupancy. It is a very creative way to strengthen offers, especially in today's market, because what I will share with you guys is that many sellers don't know where they're going. So if you know that the seller needs to sell in order to buy, and that's what they're looking to do, what if you were the listing agent and me as a buyer's agent, I contacted you, I reached out to you and I said, hey, Mr. or Miss Listing Agent, what if my buyer was open to closing on the property, putting the equity in the house in your seller's pocket, and allowed your seller to stay in the property for 30 days, 60 days, and then have the ability to purchase without a sale contingency? Would that benefit you? Would that be helpful to you? Would that be of value to you? And the answer is yes. So even if you're not the highest offer, if you were to offer up something like that, a leaseback / use of occupancy, if your buyers were open to it, that strengthens an offer in a very creative way. Yet you need to kind of, present, know the information, know what the seller's looking to do. So that is a very creative way to strengthen. We see it a lot lately, especially in today's market, because the number one concern of a seller, it seems, one of the main objections they're providing listing agents is, well, where am I going to go? I'm going to sell my house, and then where am I going to move to? So we can actually reduce their anxiety by providing them this particular option, right? So some additional ways that we can strengthen our offers is, of course, the buyer consultation. Now, how in the world is a buyer consultation going to strengthen or increase the likelihood? It's a better way of putting it. How is it going to increase the likelihood that we're going to convert at a much higher level in these type situations? Well, if our buyers are prepared for these situations, does it increase the likelihood that we're going to convert in these situations? And the answer is yes. So I used to say, the better we prepare our buyers, the better the conversion. Now I changed this slightly. I added some words to it. The better we prepare our buyers to take action, it will help us improve the likelihood that we obtain. See, not every buyer is ready for what they're about to walk into. So whose job is it to prepare them? It's our job, right? We're the guides. We're the GPS. We're leading in this relationship. We're the leaders in these relationships, and we're there to advise and consult. And they're looking to us to prepare them for this. And if we don't prepare them, that's where surprises happen. Why? Because if we don't set the expectations of what they're walking into, they'll just create their own expectations, right? They'll think that they can come in 10% below asking when there's 30 offers on the table. And then of course, you get laughed at by the listing agents, right? So we need to prepare them. How do we prepare them? Well, a buyer consultation is a very good tool in order to do so. So we can discuss with them the buying process. We can speak to them about the market conditions, even multiple offer situations. We can answer any real estate related questions they have. And yes, they will be more prepared than the next buyer. Right? So when they see the right one, they can just go right at it in the best possible way. So preparation, we just spoke about it. The better we prepare them, the better. The attorney selection, how can the selection of an attorney possibly affect our conversion in these type of situations? And I'm just going to ask you guys a question. Have any of you been in a position where the attorney didn't send the writer out after 2 days and you got kicked out of attorney review because they just didn't want to wait for you? They didn't consider you serious? Or how about after 16 offers on the table, they accepted your offer and you didn't have an attorney selected, and now your buyers are scrambling to select an attorney, but they want to interview each attorney, and the listing agent or the seller are getting very, very impatient with you, and you're about to lose this deal? What about getting into attorney review only to get kicked out of attorney review because your attorney started changing the terms? What about your attorney not being very responsive and taking forever because they're not a real estate attorney? Attorney selection will factor in whether you can have the deal stick or you will get kicked out. And it's unfortunate to start from scratch because of this, but attorney selection is a big deal. You want a real estate attorney. You want somebody who knows the market conditions, somebody that's responsive and keeps you in the loop in communications. You don't want somebody that's not going to CC you because they think it's none of your business what's going on, right? Or somebody that knows best for what their client should do without even consulting with their client. They just send the writer. So, there are, just like we said, real estate agents, not all of them are the same. Some are better than others. Same thing with attorneys. Just make sure that you're making the recommendations well in advance. They know who they're going to be selecting, so that when time comes, they're good to go. You know which attorney they're using, and they're going to help make this transaction as smooth as possible, get you out of attorney review very, very swiftly before another offer that's $30,000 above yours comes in and kicks you out. Right? We don't want that. So get out of attorney review quickly and have an attorney that you can trust to do so. So inspector selection, same thing. Listen, some inspectors will, they'll give you 60-page reports detailing everything in the property, and some will provide you, 20-page reports. Some will be alarmist, and some will be, tell your clients that this is a very good house. Just ask them to do this, this, and this, and you'll be good to go. And you know what? These are fixable items, or there's a difference between making recommendations and considering to do certain things. Word usage is really, really important. Inspectors are no different. You want to recommend the right ones that will help increase the likelihood the deal sticks. Many transactions are falling apart because of all the craziness. The better prepared our clients are, the more likely it is that you get to the closing table. So what that means is make the recommendations in advance for your lenders, for your attorneys, for your inspectors. Prepare them, right? That's our job. So that will help improve the likelihood you actually get the closing table, not just obtain the deal. The fallout rate is twice as bad as it used to be. If the fallout rate, the average was 1 out of 10, 1 out of every 10 deals would fall out, it's twice that. It's 1 out of 5 now. And a lot, depending on the price range that you're in. And it's because of all the craziness. You don't want to get kicked out of attorney review. You don't want to lose out after conducting inspections. You're already under contract. So it's just prepare them best you can, and that will help improve the likelihood you get to the closing table. Communication, I actually wrote it twice by mistake. It's worth mentioning twice. How do the listing agents like to be communicated with? Do they communicate better via text, email, phone call, just like with our clients? Also, when you're submitting offers, your cover letters, how detailed are they? 10, 20, 40 offers. You're going to set yourself apart if you submitted it with a cover letter or with a template, an email template. That's going to go a long way. Also, do they like receiving all the documents separate, or do they like receiving all the documents in one PDF? How do you find out? You ask them, right? Ask them, do you want everything in one PDF, or do you want all the files separated? Oh, I don't care. You know what? No, send it in one PDF. Recently, many listing agents already have kind of templates for multiple offers, how they like, and they're actually outlining for you how they like to receive the information. So the template or the cover letters goes a long way, just keeping everything organized, communicating what your offer looks like and what the highlights of those offers are. In the emails, you're saying this is the purchase price, this is down payment, this is the lender. You know, this is the attorney information. This is what we're giving up. Buyer to purchase as is. Buyer to waive appraisal. Buyer to be willing to do use of occupancy slash lease back. So you're highlighting everything. Everything's organized in that email, right? So you know, it's just another way to kind of stand out in those type of situations. Now, before I go to the next slide, is there anything, any opinions, questions, issues, something you guys want to ask before I move forward? No? Good? Awesome. Escalation clauses. So I like to tell you, I don't like to use escalation clauses. I'm not a fan of it, yet I've used it in the past. And sometimes, you know, there's actually, the more offers there are, the more crazy it gets, then the more likely you are to see other agents and other buyers use escalation clauses. So, you know, the word usage that I use is actually right in front of you. Buyer submitting offer with escalation clause that will have, it doesn't have to be 1,000, it could be 500, it could be 5,000, it's whatever you want it to be. So you can just put whatever number you want, increments above any other offer that seller receives up to a maximum amount of evidence of other competing offer to be presented during attorney review. That's 2 times last year that I did obtain with an escalation clause. I didn't use it at all this year. They did show us the backup. They just blanked out all the personal information. We had a relationship with those agents, so it helps out a lot. Where does this? Where do you input this clause? Well, you can input it on page 13 under additional terms, and you can also insert it in the email. Now, I will tell you also, asterisk next to this, we're not actually supposed to be modifying. We're not actually supposed to be putting things under additional terms per the brokers. Yet, I will tell you that the listing agents, they want to see it there. If you're strengthening your offer with you know, with whatever terms, whether it be as is or waiving this or waiving that, they want to see it under additional terms on page 13, item number 43. So while the brokers don't like it, you know, it's expected that you're going to insert it there. Also, you're going to insert it in the email so it's clear. You're going to communicate it via verbally, via text, however which way, as long as you make sure that they know exactly what you're doing, what you're looking to do. And, you know, regardless of, you know, what you're using to strengthen an offer, make sure that everybody's on the same page. When you send the executed agreement to the attorneys, make sure you tell them the buyer waived the appraisal contingency. Make sure you communicate to them that you're doing a lease back so that everybody's on the same page, and now the terms aren't being changed during attorney review, because if everybody's not on the same page, again, it increases the likelihood you're not going to make it past the attorney review. So because some attorneys will, to protect their clients, they'll start changing the terms unknowingly. So make sure everybody's on the same page. Now, this happens often, right? There's no perfect, me included. What happens if you lose? So if you lose, now what? Well, you don't want to get caught up in the bidding war. No, I say that because many, many times it's out of our control. It's out of the buyer's control. It's out of the buyer's agent control. They're going to lose for several different reasons. Some major reasons they tend to lose is they hit their max. They can't go more than that, and somebody else did. And, you know, they went 30,000, 40,000 above asking, and somebody was willing to pay more. And you know what? There was 47 offers, and they were like, that's crazy. I'm not even submitting an offer. Let's go next. So there's a lot of things that are not in our control. So don't get caught up in it. You know, we're going to put our best foot forward. We're going to provide them the best possible offer we're willing to do, or feel comfortable doing, and we're gonna take it from there. And you know what? We're gonna lose still sometimes, and that's okay. Why? Because we're gonna get in the backup position. You want to tell the other agents, hey, listen, you know, if anything goes sideways, just keep us in mind, keep us as a backup offer. Why is that important? Because I just said it before. If twice as many deals are falling out, there's a very high likelihood that, you know, this particular one may fall out as well, and they'll come back to the backup offer. So if you were like number 2 or number 3, yeah, there is a chance. And I've had several agents come back to me and said, are you still interested? And they were, and we were able to actually obtain for them. So it's really, really important, again, in the backup position. It's really, really important to stay positive, and we have to create that positivity for them a lot of the times. Why? Because they're going to feel pretty down. This is the house. They loved this house. They fell in love with this house. They really, really wanted this house. So for us, we're going to approach them and we're going to say, we gave it our best shot. Somebody else was just willing to pay more. Yeah, and what I do know is the outcome, the accomplishment, the achievement that you're looking for, which is to be in a home that you're going to love and enjoy for many years to come. I'm going to help make that happen for you. Sounds good? Bring back their train of thought, create that path for them, create that vision for them. It's really, really important to keep them engaged. And only we can create that vision for them. So, they're not less likely to actually do that on their own. They're better prepared for the next one, and so are you. Going through these experiences makes you a better agent.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you a better agent, yet it also makes them a better buyer. They're more prepared for the next one because they're going to run into it again and again and again in today's environment. Well, they're actually becoming more of a professional buyer with every experience they have, and you're becoming a better agent with every experience you have. So it's a silver lining in a way. It's a positive way of looking at it. Well, this experience is going to get me to where I need to go, whether it's the buyer or you as an agent. Obviously, next time it's going to help you come in a lot stronger, a lot cleaner. It's gonna make them be a lot more flexible to the seller's needs. It goes a very, very long way.
I just want to say that I have to run. I don't want to be rude.
No, you do your thing.
But thank you so much. The information was definitely helpful for me. Like, I'm very new. I just got my license a month ago. I haven't submitted an offer yet. So I'm just trying to learn a lot. And thanks.
Well, you're going to submit offers very, very shortly, I'm sure, and
I'm
it's
sure.
going to be fun. It's fun
Right.
submitting offers.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, bye.
Welcome back. So for the rest of you, does anybody have any questions about anything we discussed? Any scenarios you want to kind of go over? Anything like that? I'm going to take off the screen share for a second. I know I speak really, really quickly. So, that's just natural. I always tell myself in the back of my head to slow down. So if there's anything that you want me to cover or go dig deeper in, I'm here for you. We can also talk about different scenarios. Obviously, there's a wealth of scenarios that happen in these type of environments. You tell me. What you guys got?
Everyone's always a little quiet when you ask for questions.
Well, sometimes it's either I covered it really, really well.
That's what I was going to say. You were just so good that nobody has anything else to ask.
Yeah, and at times I'll get these phone calls after the class or during the week or later, and the following month or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, listen, this is the situation that I'm in. There's 16 offers on the table. They said that we should do this. They said we should do this. My clients can only do this. My clients can only do that. How do we strengthen our offer? How do we obtain? So I get all kinds of phone calls, which obviously I welcome. So it's if there is a question or if there's a scenario that they want to cover, they're always welcome to call me, email me, text me afterwards, and I'll it'll be my pleasure to help them best I can.
Thank you so much, Ron. You truly are the best.
My pleasure. So thank you for participating today, for being here, and I want to wish everybody a great Thursday. Be well. Let's get back to work.
Bye-bye, guys.